How is it going, everybody? Welcome to today's video. 2 weeks ago, I unveiled that I bought myself another classic car, a 1963 Ford Galaxie 500. I'm a big Ford guy, so I thought that this was a pretty cool find. It seemed to be in pretty good shape, so I went ahead and I picked it up. Trying to get rid of my Rambler now, because this will be replacing that, as it only really makes sense for me to keep one car at a time. But for now, I'm going to give you the full walk around, I'm going to give you the full tour. I kind of gave a little introductory, the little adventure to go get it. Nothing too exciting there. So if you want to go back, if you missed that video, go ahead, check that out now. I'll have the link up here in the corner. Let's go ahead, I'll give you the full on tour. Before I get started as well, I'd like to note that this car is not all original. The Rambler was all original, and that was one of the novelty pieces to it. The fact that it was pretty much bone stock from what it began as and what it is now. This one has been modified. The engine and transmission are original as far as I'm aware. I don't have as much of the past history, but you'll see certain things here and there. Go ahead, tell me if you like them, tell me if you don't. I'm very curious to know because I have my own opinions, but I'm not going to be upset if you say, I don't like this, because I didn't do it. So for now, I'm going to go ahead and show you what I got. This is exactly how I bought it. I'll be doing things to change it here and there, but for now, here is exactly what I purchased. We'll go ahead and start with the front-on tour. You can see the license plate in the middle says the 500. In the state of Maryland, if you have a 50-year-old or older historic vehicle, it does not require a front plate if it is registered as so I do not have one. You can see right down there, it's got that little rubber skirt underneath. That's just kind of for appeal, for looks, for whatever, cosmetic, nothing functional. Kind of serves to give the car more of a floating look so that it hovers off the ground. You can see underneath the headlights there, here, and here, you have your blinkers. Up close in the headlight, there are little skull emblems, and it's got the little three-point circle. Kind of makes it look like a little Mercedes headlight, but nothing there but looks as well. Feel free to let me know what you think of those. Let me know what you think of any of the other modifications on this vehicle, whether you like it, whether you don't, whether you think it brings it together, or whether or not you think that it just needs to go. I'm very curious to hear what other people think, because I have my opinions. I'll share some of them, but I'm curious to know what the general public watching this thinks. Right outside the hood, we have these little fins right here. I like them. I think they bring the front together. Those are stock as far as I'm aware. You have Ford written across the hood, as you'd expect from anything of this age. And then probably the most controversial piece that I've seen so far is this big hood ornament right here. Now this swan right here actually came off of a Kenworth semi-truck. If you look up Kenworth semi-truck hood ornament or swan hood ornament, that's what you'll find. So I really don't know how I feel about it. I don't think I'm in love with it. Maybe I'll fall in love with it, maybe I won't. Kind of goes with the look of the car, but it just also kind of seems out of place. Regardless though, let me know what you think of that. If I want to get rid of it though, I have to work with a hole that's punched in the hood to mount that on, so I can't just pop it off at will. Regardless, here's the front. I'm going to pop the hood here. Go ahead, grab that emblem, lift it up. I think that's pretty cool. Second release underneath the O right here. And there's the big boy engine. Now this engine is Ford's 352 V8. It's a Ford Edsel engine of that family. It's a 5.8 liter V8 compared to a 3-speed automatic transmission way back in there. Here we have battery disconnect. That's not stock. Definitely like to have that here though, so I'm glad that's in. Windshield washer fluid, battery, coolant, antifreeze, whatever you want to call it. Valve covers, big blue Ford. Alternator down there. Speedy Gonzalez sticker on top of the air cleaner. Air cleaner mounted to the carburetor, of course. Distributor. New fuel pump down there, if you can see that. It's nice and shiny. Brake master cylinder with one little brake line running out of there. So I'll probably change that in the future. I don't know what my plan's going to be for that, but I'd like to upgrade from that to either a dual master cylinder or one with a pump on it. So we'll see. Up here we have the horns, which are quite loud. Power steering fluid, and like I said, this vehicle is not stock, so right here you can see the compressor. This actually goes back to the airbags in the back because this car is lowered and it sits on bags, so I can drop the rear at my own will. And then right here I have another air compressor which actually goes up to these Dixie horns. I like the way that they sit in the grill. I think that looks pretty cool. I'll show that off shortly, but for now, let's go ahead and close the hood. We'll move on to the side profile next. Moving from the front to the back, you'll see these moon discs, these saucers, whatever you want to call them. They cover up the wheels which have been painted, and I really don't like the look of the wheels without these. I'll show you what I mean. Grand reveal. Nice and red. Now, of course, it's subject to opinion, but I don't think that those red wheels really match the outside of this car at all. It's all black and silver, and then you have bright red there. So if I pop that disc back on, Of course, we all have our opinions, but I think that looks a lot cleaner. We have 2 stripes running down the side here, one going the full way and one going up to this Galaxie 500 badge right here. I like to look at that. I've always loved the old Crown logos that they have on them. Mirror right here is not factory as far as I'm aware. This little smoker window will nail it. It looks like there's a little piece where it used to extend out there, so I can't help but to think that those have been added on afterwards. Door handles right here, push buttons as you'd expect. Solid closing doors. Same color up top. I kind of hosed this off beforehand, left a lot of water spots, so whoops. Another emblem right here. Chrome trim piece right here. Wheel skirts down here. Very reflective. I like to look at them as well. Gives it a bit of differentiation from the front. And then another trim piece sitting right here. Right underneath that is another rubberized wheel skirt that I was mentioning earlier. That's just kind of to give it one long, flat, even look. So I think it kind of fits it well. Let me know what you think. I've always thought that the rear end of a car is really what draws it all together, and I love the back end of this car. I love the spaceship-like design of it. The big circle, hollowed out taillights. Stick your hand inside of here. Massive taillight, looks great on both sides. Show you a bit more now. Once again, big silver bumper. Wheel skirts, or body skirts down here. These are kind of like little reflector pieces. They look like bike reflectors, and I don't think I'm going to keep them on there, so I'll probably be taking that off. Right here is the exhaust tip, as you can tell. They're square, and I don't feel like they match the circular design at the back, so that's something that, once again, has been added on aftermarket. This does have an aftermarket exhaust on it, and it is quite loud. I don't think I'll be keeping the square exhaust tips. I think I'll make those round to match the taillights and the rest of the back end of this car. Same deal on the other side. Circular taillights, wheel skirts like that. Big square exhaust tips. 500 pulls down, and you got your gas cap right there. And then this is not original, but he put a Tasca Ford badge on here, which is one of the old vintage ones. I like the way that it looks. And then Galaxie right across the back of the trunk. There's also a Lady Luck sticker. It's just dead center in the back of the windshield. Maybe I'll keep that, maybe I won't. Reflectors are definitely going. And lastly is the antenna right here. As you can see, said antenna goes up pretty high, but I have it down right now because, unfortunately, I had the cover on when it was raining the other day, and it blew that clean off in a windstorm. I was pretty upset about that, but like I said, I'll get her fixed. I got new ones coming, so I'm going to replace this one and that one just to get them even looking. Hopefully they're pretty similar, if not the exact same thing as what I had before, because I'd like to have as close to as what I had before, which was a pretty slick look in my opinion. On the passenger side, we're looking at pretty much exactly the same. Same wheel skirts, same trim pieces, same body skirts, same badge right there. Same mirrors, same Galaxie badging. Wheel covers, wheel skirts. Nothing noteworthy over here. I'll go ahead, hop in, start it up, and show you what we're looking at. Unfortunately, I can't actually pop the hood and show you what it looks like running right now. The car currently has an inoperable choke. The engine block is cold, it's very cold out, and it doesn't want to run at the current moment. So I'll give you a rear exhaust clip, and then I'll get to showing you the inside. Anyways, she at least sounds pretty good. I hope you all agree on that one. That's one thing that I'm not changing. That exhaust note was pretty much enough to sell me on this car, but here's the inside tour. Hopping inside, I'll actually show you one more exterior detail. See that baby blue in there? That was actually the original color of this car, so as you can see, it's not baby blue now, but if you see little bits of baby blue here, and here, and here, and in there, now you know where they came from. Right inside here, you can see your little 8-ball balls in the lock right there. Smoker's windows right there, crank, which I think is cool. Like I said, it does smack right into the mirror, which is why I don't believe it to be stock. Go ahead and lock that back in place there. Door release right here. Handle right here. You can see a bit of baby blue right here. The doors and the interior were actually baby blue as well. And then your good old crank windows as well, which go up and down very smooth. Here in the driver's seat, you have some more little baby blue patches. Product of Ford Motor Company. Red going up through the door sill. The seats have been redone and are nice and black and leather, it seems like. At least something close to it. See, they're nice and cushiony, as most 60s cars were. Seat belts and buckles right here. Big loud slam to that door, but feels nice and sturdy. Up here you have your visors, black to match the rest of the car. You can see, interesting setup here. You have your ignition switch here on the left. You have on, you have start, off, and accessory the other way. You can see that I have a fuel gauge right here, which, believe it or not, does work. I have my speedometer and my odometer. My odometer reads 21,772 miles, so it's predicted to have about 121,772 miles on it. And then up here we have a temperature gauge that does not work. Next to my ignition switch, I have my lights. If I pull it halfway, it turns on my parking lights. Pull it all the way, it turns on my headlights. I'll show you that respectively. Here are my parking lights. Here are my headlights. And of course, high beam pedal sits right here. High beam switch behind the brake pedal. So I'll push that. And here are my high beams. My taillights are on as well, if you can see that. And the reverse light is actually right here. On the right of the exterior light switch, I have my little air pocket that opens and closes down below my feet. Lets air down there, so I'm not reaching down there to go and get it. Other side. Can hear it opening and closing over there. That's pretty cool to have control of on my side. And last but not least, that actually really surprised me about this car when I got it, is it has an electric wiper motor. So if I turn it, which in my opinion is pretty cool. I've only ever seen vacuum actuated pumps from back in these days. In the middle, we have Galaxie 500 written right there. That's in the blue. I assume to match the original paint in here. I don't know if they were all blue. Let me know if you know, because I'm curious. Horn in the middle. So that's one heck of a horn right there. There's a big echo. I don't think you could hear it, but she's loud. Underneath of the dash, you have your parking brake. It's a push actuated brake, as you'd think. Brake release, you just push down on this. She goes ahead and springs right back up. I have a pressure gauge right here, which increases and decreases the pressure of the airbags in the back. The previous owner said he pretty much always rode around at 20, which I've been doing as well and feels pretty comfortable. I've gone about as high as 30 and as low as 15, and it feels pretty good, but you can see that takes it up, and this takes it down. So pretty simple operation. It's kind of hard to see, but there's a little push switch button right here, which has one of my favorite features. If I go ahead and hit it, so you can hear one of the horns is a little bit loose, but I'm sure you could hear that, and I'm sure everybody around me could hear it as well. Nice little Dixie horn. It's a fun little party trick. So one of the horns is coming loose, which is why that had such an absence of sound. Hopefully I'll get that fixed up soon and have that sounding back to its former glory. While I'm still down here, accelerator on the right, brake on the left, just like pretty much any other car I've ever seen. The center stack right here is pretty simplistic as well. Cigarette lighter here, which does in fact work. I can turn up my temperature right here. You can hear it adjust the valve in the back. Heat, defrost, heat, off, fan speed, high and low, which does work. I just have the key out of the ignition right now. I have some gauges down here. I have oil right here, battery voltage here, and water temperature right here. I have an aftermarket radio in here, which pairs to some speakers in the back, and then I have the stock AM radio head unit, which does work. It doesn't really tune too well, but it just crackles a whole bunch, so that's pretty cool to see as well. I've been toying around with that, haven't really done too much. Naturally, this was built in the 60s, so we have an ashtray directly below that. Just has some old ignition switch pieces, and actually, no, those look more like door locks. Whatever. Clock doesn't work, which is pretty unfortunate. I was hoping that would. Maybe I'll take a look at that eventually. You can also see that there's a big piece of carpet that sits across the top of the dash. It's painted underneath. I'd assume that's just mainly for sun protection. I don't really know how I feel about it too much. And some little pieces up there just to cover it up. You have your rear view mirror right here. It's pretty flimsy, so I'll need to tighten that down at some point. It's got 8 balls hanging from the windshield. Pretty cool. In the middle here, I have my keys here, but little center console that the previous owner put in. This just kind of sits loose, so I can take it out and put it in as I please. I'll move over to the passenger side and show you what's going on there. Before I get in the passenger side, I'm just laying down on the ground to show you. That's what I mean by this thing rides low. Like, you can see the frame is just barely sitting above the ground. So it's pretty cool, but my biggest fear and enemy is speed bumps. Go ahead, hop inside. Big heavy doors like I was saying before. The carpet over here is a little bit worn and it's pretty dirty because I haven't vacuumed it yet. Sorry, but you can see it's got that baby blue in it. Go ahead, sit down. Nice, comfortable, cushy seats. Feels like the steering wheel's a mile away. It's pretty far over there because it is such a big car. I like the look of this dash. I honestly don't mind the red color at all. Baby blue would be cool, but the red and black does really suit the car well. Pop open the glove box right here. Push this here. These also are not the original keys that come with it, so the keys that I have do not fit in there, so I can't lock it if I want to, but regardless, more of that baby blue color here. A little light in the corner right here. I took my personal information out. Don't worry, this is insured and registered. Big hump for the drive shaft right there, and then same kind of deal over here. Crank smoker's windows, crank driver side windows. Kind of looks like a little gas pedal right there to let you in and out. Trim piece right here. Go ahead, hop out and show you the back. Same deal goes hopping on the back seat. I'll go ahead, grab the handle right here, pull it open, big heavy door, some more baby blue marks right there. Roll down rear window, trim piece, gas pedal looking handle right there. Go ahead, grab this handle, we'll close it. Hop inside, pull her shut. And you can see, it looks massive on camera, it looks massive back here. I think that's pretty cool. Little ashtray right here. When you're smoking cigarettes, I'd prefer that my car doesn't get smoked in, but that's it. Please don't smoke in my car. Anyways, get the nice view of the front from back here. Big all-weather floor mat down on the floor. Feels pretty solid. Cable running back there, which goes to the speakers that are behind me that I'll show you in a second. Big leather bench seat back here, which is more than enough to sleep on. It's very comfortable. And then you can see the speakers back here, which are kind of breaking apart a little bit. Looks like they were almost cut to fit in there. I can't really tell, but yeah, they sit back here. Lady Luck chilling right there. Yeah. I went ahead and just slid over to this side because there's not really too much of a difference. Only difference is you're on the other side of the car. Leather seats, seat belts, like I mentioned. Roll down rear windows. Nothing too special. Something that I do find funny here is that this light, if you see, I've opened the door, it doesn't come on. There's actually not a sensor on this side for when the back door is open for that light to come on. This light only comes on when you open up the front. So if I go ahead and open up the front here, you can see she's on. Last but not least, I'll show you inside the trunk. The trunk is plenty spacious as you'd imagine a car this big would be. So go ahead, lift it up and show you inside. And you can see that this thing is just... I could probably lay down in here, like not even exaggerating. Here, though, I got this with the car, some extra airlines and fittings. It does leak a little bit getting into the trunk. The trunk liner has been redone, but it's not 100% perfect, so I've just been keeping an eye on it. It's got this towel that I actually use. I don't know what is inside of what's it called, fuel stabilizer. Spilled a little bit right here. I dapped it up, and it sucked out that oil right out of the ground, so I don't know. He has some little raccoon tails and stuff that he uses as decorations. This arm here is for this pump jack. This light right here is just a little decoration he had on top, and he got some little flamethrowers. You can see right there, those go down to the air lines. There's some lines right here that go up to the antennas. The antennas connect right through down there. And then with that, there's been some water leakage down there, so I'm going to have to address that a little bit down here as well. On top of that, the real damage that I've noticed rust-wise so far has been right here. I'm not going to go pushing at it because I did once, and it is pretty spongy, but right down here, it is starting to crack through pretty good to the bottom. There's some C-channel that goes underneath of this, so I'm hoping it'll be fine for the summer. But once fall comes around, I'm really going to need to address that because obviously I don't want one side of this collapsing in. Regardless, though, there's the original spare tire and jack instructions and all that. Extra leaf springs, paper towels that I threw in there. Close it. Well, there she is. That is my new classic car, or new to me classic car, very much not new. 61 years old, so I wouldn't exactly say it's right off the showroom floor. But regardless, you know what I'm saying. That's what I've got. That's what I'm working with now. So I think it's pretty cool. I think I got a pretty fair deal on it. I'm excited to get working on it. It's big. It's loud. It's very big. But yeah. So I don't really know what the future plans hold. I'm going to do basic maintenance on it. I'm going to do oil change, flush the coolant and everything. Might put in some extra gauges. I'm going to change out the radio head unit, get those antennas replaced and everything. But for the time being, she's going to be my new cruiser. I'm going to try to get it down to Ocean City. Hopefully all goes well. Hopefully nothing goes wrong with the car and she'll be good to go by then. But yeah, my first ever modified car, my second classic car. I'm very curious to see what you all think of this. If you missed it, I bought a Rambler as well a few years ago. Not a few years ago, a few months ago. I'll put that up here so that you can see that. Check out that car as well. That one's all original, so these are kind of polar opposites from the same era, generation, whatever you want to call it. But one's original, one's modified. So I definitely like them both. I'm a big Ford guy, and I love massive sedans, so this one kind of fits right up my alley. And it's quite the oddball car as well, like I said in my last video, and like Colby and Louie had said. So that's pretty much all that I had planned for this video. Hopefully plenty more content to come out of this one, and hopefully it's me just working on it and not things breaking down, because that would really break my heart. But that's enough of me talking. I'm going to put up the thing where you hopefully will check out my video and subscribe now. But anyways, I appreciate you watching. I appreciate you checking out the channel. Like I said, plenty more content to come on this. Hopefully good stuff. So make sure to like, make sure to subscribe, share, whatever. Let me know what you think of these modifications as well, because I'm very curious. I've been talking for too long. Peace out, everyone. Thank you for watching.